Renovations, we found a sealed room inside our house. My name is Alex. 3 years ago, my parents bought an old house outside the city. It wasn't anything special. The house was built sometime in the 1960s and had belonged to the same family for decades. The price was surprisingly low. At the time, we thought we had simply found a good deal. Looking back now, I understand why nobody wanted to buy it. The first few months were normal. The house needed repairs. The roof leaked. The electrical wiring was outdated. The basement smelled like mold. Nothing unusual. Then one Saturday morning, everything changed. My father and I were renovating the second floor. We wanted to make one of the bedrooms larger by removing an old interior wall. The wall wasn't load-bearing, so there was no problem taking it down. At least that's what we thought. After several hours of work, we knocked a large hole through the plaster. I remember shining my flashlight through the opening and immediately freezing. There was empty space behind the wall. Not insulation, not pipes, an entire room. My father stared through the hole. "What the hell?" I remember those exact words. According to the blueprints, there wasn't supposed to be a room there. The space simply didn't exist. Yet there it was, hidden behind a solid wall, completely sealed off. For several minutes, we just stood there staring. The room looked untouched. No windows, no furniture, nothing. Just darkness. Eventually, curiosity won. We removed more of the wall until we could squeeze through. The room was small, maybe 10 feet by 12 feet. The air inside felt strangely cold. Much colder than the rest of the house. And there was something else. A smell. Not mold, not rot, just old air. Air that hadn't been disturbed for decades. Our flashlights swept across the walls. The room was completely empty, or at least that's what we thought. Then my flashlight landed on the floor. There was a wooden box, sitting alone in the center of the room. Dust covered everything except the box, almost as if someone had placed it there recently. My father walked toward it. The box was locked, heavy, solid oak. No markings, no labels, no explanation. We spent 20 minutes trying to open it. Eventually, my father used a crowbar. The lock snapped. The lid opened. Inside were dozens of photographs, black and white photographs, hundreds of them. At first glance, they looked normal. Family pictures, birthday parties, picnics, holidays. Then I noticed something strange. The same man appeared in every photograph. That wasn't unusual. What was unusual was that he never aged. The oldest photos looked like they were from the 1940s. The newest seemed to be from the 1980s. Yet the man looked exactly the same. Same face, same hair, same smile, no wrinkles, no changes. Nothing. I laughed nervously. "Maybe it's his son." My father didn't answer. He was staring at the last photograph. His face had turned pale. I looked down and immediately understood why. The photo showed our house, the exact house we had just bought. The photograph was clearly old, at least 40 years old. Standing on the front porch was the same man, smiling directly at the camera. But that wasn't the worst part. Standing beside him was my father, not someone who looked similar. My father, exactly as he looked today. Same age, same face, same clothes. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Finally, my father whispered, "That's impossible," because he had never been there before. Not 40 years ago, not ever. And yet there he was, in the photograph. The room suddenly felt colder, much colder. We packed everything into the box and carried it downstairs. Neither of us wanted to stay inside that hidden room any longer. That night I couldn't sleep. The photograph wouldn't leave my mind. At around 2:30 a.m., I got up to get water. As I walked past the kitchen table, I noticed something. The box was open. I was certain we had closed it. I approached slowly. The photographs were scattered across the table, as if someone had been looking through them. My parents were asleep. I checked. Nobody was awake. Then I noticed one more thing. There was a photograph I had never seen before. It sat alone in the center of the table. I picked it up, and my blood turned to ice. The photograph showed me, standing inside the hidden room, holding the picture in my hands. The date written on the back was tomorrow's date. I dropped the photograph immediately. At that exact moment, a loud bang echoed from upstairs. The sealed room. Something had slammed shut, and for the first time since moving into that house, I realized we might not have discovered the room. Maybe the room had been waiting for us to find.